Hey everyone, okay, so it wasn't the last Octopus Energy video, but this one probably won't be either. Okay, so as you know, I've kind of finished with the Octopus Energy video stuff now, but I thought I'd just put another video out there because a lot of people have used my referral code and I'm super grateful for that, and thank you to everyone who has. But I also do feel a bit of a responsibility to make sure that people are getting a kind of full view of my experience of being on Octopus Go. And one of the things that hasn't gone so well, for me anyway, and a few others I think on the comments below in some of my previous videos on this subject, was the actual setup of the smart meters. Now, my smart meters installation wise went really smoothly. It was absolutely brilliant. They were done really quickly, but ever since they've been installed I haven't actually had the gas meter readings showing up in my account. And what's actually happening now is it's saying I'm like 75 days without a meter reading. Now obviously when the meters got changed out, they also changed the gas meter as well. So the way that it works, I believe, and correct me in the comments below, is that the electricity meter actually has a hub at the top. So the electricity meter is effectively the electricity meter at the bottom, and then on the top half of the electricity meter is the hub, a communications hub, which deals with the communications out to the wider network, but it also deals with the communications to the gas meter, so that the gas meter is a battery powered unit, and therefore a low power unit, and therefore it only sends its messages as far as the hub, and the hub then relays them out to the network, because obviously that hub is powered by electricity through the meter itself. Now that has not been happening, and I have been, since my last video in fact, in communication with Octopus support staff. I've sent them photos of the meter, of the gas meter, so I'm sure they're trying to get some of the serial numbers or something so that they can get the technicians to see if it's on the network and add it into my account, or whatever it is that they need to do at the admin end. But it's just been going on for ages. Now I could have a bit of a, I mean, if I was like somehow being affected by this, I'd be a bit more cross than I actually am. But at the end of the day, this is an admin thing. My direct debits still go to Octopus Energy. They have calculated them based on my usage for my previous supplier. So I know that there's going to be enough money in the account to cover it when eventually the readings from the gas meter do appear. But as an experience goes, it shows that, you know, perhaps Octopus Energy are just slightly struggling with the demand on them right now. They are a small sort of startup, or they were anyway, a smaller energy supplier, and of course that's one of the reasons why they're offering great deals and disrupting the market with some of their other products, which I think is great. But it does feel like the organisation's going through perhaps some growing pains. One of the things I noticed straight away is that it very much feels, and actually this is kind of a good thing if they can keep it, but when you talk to someone on the customer service team via email, it is a person-to-person conversation, but it's that kind of conversation that when it goes well is great, but when it doesn't go so well, you kind of wish then that it was in a formal sort of ticketing system, so that, you know, your ticket was in a queue, and if it wasn't resolved, then, you know, a little, you know, timer would be ticking around saying that your query's still outstanding, and people would be picking it up every now and again. I'm doing a bit of back and forth with them every now and again just to say, hey, I'm still not getting my gas meter readings coming through on my account. So we'll see how long this takes to get resolved, but in my mind it's already been a bit too long. so that is it really. I'm just keeping it real for everyone, because I don't really want to, although I am getting a benefit from people using my code. I don't want you to feel like it's going to be it's all going to go swimmingly. The reason I did these videos was not to tout my code, because I didn't think anyone would use it, but just to kind of go through the experience really of what it was going to be like for anyone else who wanted to do it, and the little quirks of the website and things that I had got wrong, and stuff like that. So I think it's always good to kind of look at somebody else's experience before you kind of take the plunge. So that's why I'm doing it really. So as problems go, it's not massive. My gas supply is working. It's just an administrative fault that's giving us a bit of grief. Well, giving me a bit of grief really, and then I just need to send a few emails. But what it also just shows is that there's maybe just a little bit of refinement that Octopus Energy need to do in their customer service division, putting in some tools and systems to make that flow, that journey, good. I had a great customer experience with another website. I got a new bike recently, and I registered it on one of the cycle register things, and I had a query, and I got an automatic response from Freshdesk, which is one of the ticketing systems that you can use out there, and that said, thanks, I'm in the queue, someone's going to look at it. And then I got a response, and it was all good. And that's what you don't get with Octopus. It kind of goes out, and then you don't get an automated response. You just sort of get an email back when someone can look at your email. And the emails I've been getting back, they don't really give you comfort that it is going to be resolved. It's a bit of a pain. I'm sure we'll get there in the end. And like I say, it isn't the end of the world, because it really doesn't make any difference to my supply. I'm still getting the great cheap deal, and that's there. That's genuinely happening on the electricity front. If you've got an EV, or if you've got some massive power storage thing that you want to charge up overnight for 5p a kilowatt hour, then it's great. But yeah, it's just, I suppose, of all the things that could go wrong, this is really not the end of the world. And I'd certainly do it again. I certainly wouldn't stop recommending them. But as someone who kind of in my spare time sort of teaches startups how to do how to be a business, it's just kind of funny really. It's funny really. Just you've got to get that simple stuff right, otherwise you will annoy customers, and then you won't grow. But it is growing pains. You can see that's exactly what it is. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's my little tale of Octopus WOE. Oh, you see what I did there? It's not by any accounts any big issue, but just in the interest of balance, that is where we're at right now, and I know a couple of others are there, and I just want everyone to go in with their eyes open. So there you go, and don't forget to do all of the things that YouTube wants you to do for no apparent reason whatsoever, and we'll see you in the next one.